Greetings, this is Jeff Corp. I think it's April 30th, 2014. I've acquired some public records in regards to case number 2013 CV 01011 in the Common Pleas Court of Licking County, Ohio. This has to do with Bowling Green Township Board of Township Trustees Plaintiff versus CMI Waste Removal Services Defendants. This is the judgment entry. And I'll also get some screenshots of these documents, and you can obtain them yourself. They are public record. You can get them through the Licking County Courthouse by referencing the case number. This cause was submitted to the court and heard upon the plaintiff's complaint and plaintiff's motion for default judgment. The court finds that the defendant was served with summons in accordance with the law and is properly before the court, that the defendant is in default of answer or other pleading, and thereby confesses the allegations of the complaint to be true, and is forever barred from disputing any right or interest in the above cause of action. The court finds that the defendant has violated Revised Code 505.27 A2A II by continuing to collect, transfer, and dispose of residential solid waste within the borders of Bowling Green Township after the plaintiff entered into a single hauler trash contract with Big O Refuse Company on August 1, 2011. As a result of the defendant's violation of Revised Code 505.27 A2A II, the court orders that a permanent injunction be issued against the defendant to immediately cease and desist from collecting, transferring, and disposing of residential trash within Bowling Green Township. If the defendant fails to comply with this court's order of permanent injunction, the defendant will be subject to this court's contempt power, which includes the imposition of additional fines and imprisonment against violators of this court's order. The court further orders that this matter be set for a further hearing to adduce evidence on the damages owed to the plaintiff pursuant to Revised Code 505.27 A2A IIB on April 11th, 2014 at 1:30 p.m. The clerk is ordered to send notice of the hearing to the plaintiff and to the defendant at this business address of 8374 Newark Pickerington Road, Northeast, Baltimore, Ohio, 43105. Judgment is hereby ordered, signed by the Honorable Judge W. David Branstool. The next document I'll put up is a public record. This is from April 28th, 2014, stamped by the Clerk of Common Pleas Court, Licking County, Ohio, Gary Walters, Clerk, April 28th, 2014, 11:40 a.m. Again, it's case number 2013 CV 01011. Judge Branstool. Judgment entry for hearing on damages held April 11th, 2014. The plaintiff is Bowling Green Township Board of Township Trustees. Defendant, CMI Waste Removal Services. The judgment entry. This case came before the court for a hearing on damages on April 11th, 2014. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Amy Brown Thompson appeared on behalf of the plaintiff, Bowling Green Township Board of Trustees. No one appeared on behalf of CMI Waste Removal Services Incorporated, despite the clerk's office mailing notice to the defendant of the hearing on March 21st, 2014. Plaintiff presented the testimony of Ben Hupp, Vice President of Bowling Green Township Board of Trustees. Trustee Hupp testified that Bowling Green Township entered into a single hauler trash contract with Big O Refuse on August 1st, 2011. He also testified that the township provided notice of this contract and a request to cease residential trash service within the township to the defendant by certified mail on September 10th, 2011, as evidenced by the certified mail receipt that was returned. In spite of the township's single hauler trash contract and notice to the defendant, Trustee Hupp testified that he had received multiple notifications from township residents that the defendant was continuing to provide residential trash service in the township after September 10, 2011. Trustee Hupp testified that he had personally witnessed the defendant providing residential trash service to the township after it had been notified to cease and desist. Based on his observations and notifications from township residents, Trustee Hupp testified that the defendant had been providing residential trash service to at least 6 different residences weekly since September 10, 2011. Based on the evidence presented, the court finds that the defendant has violated the single hauler contract within Bowling Green Township by continuing to provide residential trash pickup to residents in the township weekly since September 10, 2011. Accordingly, based on the credible evidence presented, the court finds the defendant has committed 128 violations of the township's single hauler trash contract. Pursuant to Revised Code 505.27A2 IIB, anyone who violates A2 II of the section shall be fined $150 for the first offense and $500 for each subsequent offenses. Therefore, the court hereby orders that the defendant be assessed $63,650 for violating the plaintiff's single hauler contract with Big O Refuse. The defendant is hereby ordered to remit said amount to plaintiff directly within 30 days of the date of this entry. If the defendant fails to pay this fine, the defendant will be subject to the court's contempt power, which includes the imposition of additional fines and imprisonment against violators of this court's order. Judgment is hereby ordered. Bowling Green Township Board of Township Trustees versus CMI Waste Removal Services, case number 13CV01011. The Clerk of Courts is hereby ordered to serve a copy of the judgment entry upon all parties or counsel. W. David Branstool, Judge. Copies to Amy Brown Thompson, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, 20 South 2nd Street, 4th floor, Newark, Ohio, and CMI Waste Removal Services, P.O. Box 552, Newark, Ohio, 43058, 4552. Again, this is Jeff Corpenning. These are public records which are available to you. You can purchase them from the Licking County Court of Common Pleas.